Big Ten Nation, what's going on? Q, the Woodshed, Ken, the Super Cool Spartan, my brother Brian, the Super Mad Spartan, back at you with our Big Ten Talk of the Week, plus a little preview of the lowly Spartans versus Minnesota. You know, we're trying to pick up our spirits, our broken hearts, this toilet bowl of a season, taking it on the road to Minneapolis against those fighting Golden Gophers, who are coming off of beat down themselves at Iowa last week. So let the chips fall where they may fall, roll that dice, whatever you want to say, whatever cliches you want to use, whatever bad things you want to say. That's where we're at right now. Only 4 games left in the season, and don't know what else to say. So let's get into it, broski. Big Ten preview. Well, my bad. Let me back it up a little bit. Let me rewind here. Reverse. We're going to
Yes, we got
start
to talk
off
about our
with
school
the
first.
preview of MSU, again, taking their show on the road to Minneapolis against Minnesota. Mr. Row the Boat himself, PJ Fleck of Western Michigan fame. At one time, PJ Fleck was considered, either he was considered or maybe it was just talk about him taking over MSU once D'Antonio stepped down. But that's all in the past. Talking about the present, trying to lick our wounds from that loss to Michigan at home. 0-5 in the Big Ten, 3-5 overall. You know, we've already done the doom and gloom. We don't think MSU is going to win another game. They may prove us wrong this Saturday. I mean, I doubt it, but who knows? So Minnesota's record overall is 5-3, and their Big Ten record is at least 500. I think it may be like one game over 500 in conference play. So, what are your thoughts on this game, Mr. Super Mad Spartan? Do we have a puncher's chance of winning? Are we just going to fall flat on our face again and lose? Make it 0-6? What's what? If you're a betting
It's
man,
hard to
if
say.
you were on if you're going to go on FanDuel, look at this game, what would you bet?
MSU lost.
And by the way, I don't even know what the spread is on this game, so I'm just throwing darts on the dartboard asking you this question.
I think it's 4.5 or 3.5 or something like that I saw, but I wouldn't bet on MSU because has been the problem all season. You don't know which part of Michigan State football is going to show up because we've talked about it all season, complementary football, and we haven't played it yet. Not really. If we have a game where offense is good, defense is bad. Then we have a game defense is good for what we've seen from them. Offense can't do anything. And then special teams, we had inexplicably a horrible day versus Nebraska that cost us the game. And then, we go for the fourth part of it, coaching. Coaching up and down. We don't, come up, as I like to say, it's a mixed bag with coaching. You don't know what the clock management is going to be like. We don't know what the game plan is. It's hard to see. So there's so many, has been the problem of Michigan State football for years. We just don't know what's going to show. We don't know who's going to be. So it's hard to even predict, a win when you have Minnesota, who's been fairly solid, quote unquote, talent wise. They're on par with Michigan State. So at the beginning of the season, I would think, okay, this is a game, a swing game we should win. Minnesota is not much better than us, I thought. But I don't know. Minnesota's coming off a big time blowout loss to Iowa.
Ooh.
And Michigan State, we don't know if our coach is going to be there after this week, depending on how this game goes. So
Yeah, we are pretty much down in the dumps as a fan base. We've been beaten down. We've been blasted. We've been embarrassed, humiliated. It's a sinking ship or a sunken ship, to say the least, with Michigan State football. And this goes back to when Mel Tucker, got bounced out, for his ridiculous, dumb indiscretions. We've been sucking wind for a long time. And to see where we're currently at, just getting lamb blasted, for at least in the Jonathan Smith regime, just embarrassed. And, we've talked about it through and through. The man just does not have any answers. When he looks in that camera, he's lost. Like a rudderless ship, we're just lost. So I don't have any faith that we're going to win this game. To your point, we just have been playing incompetent football in all three phases. The whole thing about the complementary football, yeah, we haven't played that. We've been playing more incompetent football. So I won't be surprised if there's another L when this game is over. By the time we leave Minneapolis, maybe the team to pick them up, they'll go by the club where Purple Rain was filmed at for this. Oh yeah, this is history. That's the only thing I could
oh
think
yeah,
of. Or
sure.
maybe they go to the Mall of America to pick their spirits up.
When I'm thinking about this game, I think we're gonna see a lot of the same stuff we saw when we played Michigan just last weekend. Minnesota's a run first team. They're going to try to pound the rock. They don't throw it a whole lot. They're very similar to Michigan State. Michigan probably has a better defense than Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't foresee us holding up for 4 quarters. With the team chipping away at you. That's basically what happened with the Michigan game. Michigan just chipped away, chipped away, chipped away, and eventually you knew in the
Yep.
third or fourth quarter they're going to get some big runs.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the Michigan game. There was a point in the first quarter, Michigan had ran 22 plays. So you're on pace to be on the field for nearly 90 plays in the first quarter. Yeah, defense is going to get tired. And the defense, they were doing what they can. And then coming into the Minnesota game, okay, our best linebacker, Jordan Hall, who's been probably our best defender, he's questionable. He went out, he got hurt in the Michigan game right after that horrific
Oh, I didn't even know
offsides
that.
call.
Wow.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
that next play after that offsides that we should have had a sack fumble. Jordan Hall gets hurt. He doesn't return until like near the end of the game, and he was noticeably limping, and he's been questionable this week. So that does
Oh,
not
wow.
inspire a lot of confidence in the defense when the defense hasn't been that great anyway, and to have our best linebacker, our best player not there is going to hurt more if that happens. Hopefully he
Mm.
plays. Because as down bad as we are, I'm not one of those fans that's rooting against Michigan State. Like, no, I would like to see a victory. And because honestly, I don't even know if this is best case scenario. If Jonathan Smith were to win out, at least he could show some fight and some gumption that could justify like them keeping it around for another season. But it just
Uh-huh.
doesn't feel that way. Just the team, that UCLA game, I think that broke a lot of Spartan fans. That was it
Oh, yeah.
because
Most
you
definitely.
collapse.
Most definitely.
You collapse versus Nebraska, which is a winnable game, and then you get your doors blown off by UCLA, and we beat that donkey to death already. So you take all these, we keep taking all these experiences with this team, and as I said, versus Michigan, what have we seen versus when we have we seen Michigan State do against their peer group this season in the Big Ten? Get the doors blown off. I mean, okay, yeah, the score might not be indicative of how close the game was. Like Michigan, they tacked on a touchdown, made it look bad, but that's I would do it. I don't feel slighted by it, but it just means another double-digit loss in the Big Ten. So based on what I've seen, I'm kind of expecting another double-digit loss. Minnesota's solid. We haven't beat a solid team. Jonathan Smith, looking at this
We haven't even
season,
been a poor team because UCLA was a poor
no,
team coming into East Lansing for homecoming. So we've beaten really nobody. Probably our best win was Western. To be honest with you, from start to finish or from start to near finish, that's probably our best looking win aesthetically from the eye test all season.
it's just. I,
Yeah.
I always feel like I would say we say, hey, I don't want to talk about the coach and it was firing, but I just feel like it always comes back to that because now it seems more justified. And on the message board, there's a few defenders left. Like, what do you expect? Progress is not linear. I'm like, well, I can understand that
Who
he
the hell said
a
that
chance to.
on the message
There's
board?
some message board
Who
people.
said
I
that?
think they might be trolls. I don't know, but they get people to respond. It's just you look at the team and you're 20 games in, and do you see any real progress? Like, do you
No.
see this
You just
team?
see worse.
Yeah, and that's how it has more so to do with how the team looks versus necessarily the record, right? There's double-digit losses to everyone in your peer group. We're not talking about these are the NIL superstar teams or the teams that they have so much more talent. It's people like, hey, recruiting rankings wise, transfer portal wise, NIL wise, you're in the same ballpark. We're not competing on the field. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the concerning part, you know.
Right.
And there's coaching decisions, and it's every game. Like we haven't seen this, not one time yet have we seen this team put it all together. Like not one game in 20. Like so, for 20
No.
straight times, the team came out and not looked like they were the well coached, more better team, and that's
No,
concerning
at this
because
point,
even if it was a talent
yeah, at
deficiency,
this point,
if it's a talent deficiency, okay, you can be less talented and still compete.
right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and bar is so low, you're like, it's not like he came in say expect. No one came into the season like, hey, we better go to the playoffs or we got to win 9 games. Most people are like, yo, can we get a ball game? 6-6, 7-5. I don't think like that's a crazy thing to ask, especially when you have basically 3 built-in wins.
Yeah.
Usually with 9 conference games.
What's
So
so
yeah,
crazy
and then back.
about oh no, I was gonna say, Brian, that what's so crazy about the Big Ten, whether if it's this year or maybe it's an overall trend, maybe even more since we have the teams that came in from the Pac-12. There should be no excuse for any team or there's a middle tier team to a lower tier team to at least get 6 wins. Because, like you said, the first 3 games, unless you're an Ohio State or an Oregon who will play tough teams from out the gate, those are built-in wins. You're playing really nobody. You're playing powder puff teams to teams that may be on par with you. Then when you get to the Big Ten, if you're not playing Ohio State, Oregon, I'll say Indiana, since they're
Well, you
a
have
big
to include
dog.
Indiana at this point. Yes, they're a big dog in the Big Ten.
If you're playing teams in the Big Ten that are on your level or worse, and for the most part, those are the teams on your schedule, you have 6 wins built into your schedule from start to finish. Because even if you have to play in Ohio State or like we did last year, we played Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. We got our ass kicked. But everyone else, the Purdue, and did we play Wisconsin? I can't remember if we played Wisconsin last year or what. But if you're playing Ohio State, Indiana, what's the other team? My bad. I'm getting the brain fart all of a sudden. Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. Okay, you're playing those 3 teams. You still have the majority of your schedule playing the Rutgers, the Purdue's, the Wisconsins. Every so often you're playing Minnesota or Nebraska. This just a shame that where we're currently at, you just cannot get 6 wins. I mean, that's just a travesty. You cannot get 6 wins when they are built into your schedule. And to me, that's the most frustrating thing, that here we are basically in November and we only have 3 wins for the entire season. And at this point, Jonathan Smith, I mean, why even just show up? Why even showing up? I mean, I know you have to because that's your job, but every time you look in that camera, you have that blank look on your face. You have that I have no answer look on your face. You look like I don't want to be here anymore look. So basically he's a dead man walking. And like I said, by the time we get to the Maryland game at Ford Field, he probably will just be like a zombie. All taking all the bullets he's taken, all the silver bullets, all the arrows. I mean, whatever you want to say. It's just terrible, dude. Just terrible.
It's just that he's not a fit for Michigan State. I think that's what it really comes down to. I don't think he's a bad football coach per se. I just don't think Michigan State's the place for him, and it doesn't look fun for anybody. And that's Minnesota. It's a very small chance. I'll try to keep it somewhat positive.
Like 2%.
There's a small chance they could win out, and that would be crazy. But they'd end up being 7-5, which is like, okay, well, it didn't look good, but we got here somehow. And I don't know how much you can get the fan base back because they're out on a lot of people, a lot of goodwill has been burned up very quickly at
Oh
Michigan State.
yeah. I mean, we already said
But I
since Magic shot that bow, hey, at that tweet, he out of here. He's at back in like they
well,
say
they can
back in the
find the
old school.
money
He's
and make it
Audi
happen.
5000.
I truly believe that if
Don't think he gonna make it.
we get our doors blown off in Minnesota going into a bye week, it's about that time.
So bottom line, we don't think MSU's gonna beat Minnesota. Is that pretty
No,
much
it's
safe to say?
solid football team that runs the ball. Darius. I think it's Darius Taylor. I don't know if he's going to play or not because I think he got hurt last game. You know,
Oh, okay.
he was skipped over by Michigan State during the Mel Tucker era. They tried to backdoor get him, but he's like, "No, I'm committed to Minnesota." And
Being a golden
obviously,
gopher,
that was a mistake.
baby.
He's one of the better back. Yeah, so we'll see what Michigan State team shows up. I don't know how much these kids have left. I don't know how much more you can keep getting up for these emotional games because every game feels very emotional. But I feel like that Michigan game, that's probably
Yep.
you only got so many
Death
emotional games
nail.
in you. Yeah, I don't know if the coaching staff can inspire a lot of confidence. And I'm like, look at this, the feel good stories. Oh man, your DC came down and he was on the sidelines and he energized the defense, and we still gave up like 31 points. Like I know it's not all, you know what I mean? Like the bar here is so low and they can't meet it. Hopefully, well, we'll see. I don't have any confidence right now in our Spartan dogs.
Well, let's transition to our Big Ten talk. Let's lift our spirits here up a little bit here. We're gonna switch it up here. Let's do our Big Ten talk. So, looking at the Big Ten standings, which I was surprised when I looked at it, there are about 5 teams in the Big Ten who've only lost two, only have 2 losses throughout the whole season so far. Iowa, Michigan, Nebraska. I was surprised about Nebraska. I didn't know there was 6-2. Like, wow. USC and Washington. So, out of those 5 teams, I was thinking to myself as I was looking at these standings, what do you think, or who do you think out of that peer group could sneak into the college football playoff? Because at the top of
Off
the
the
Big
top,
Ten, you have Indiana, you have Ohio State, and you have
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oregon. Since Oregon is they have 1 loss, but Indiana, Ohio State, they're both undefeated. So after that, you have the 5 teams I've just mentioned who have 2 losses, coming into this coming up weekend for play. So who do you think out of those 5 teams can sneak into the college football playoff? You think any of them can? And of course, we still have a month left of football. So this is just the putting on your, genie in the bottle, looking in your magic eye just to see out of those 5 teams if they all win out. Of course, we know that they won't, but who do you think out that peer group could sneak into the playoff, broski, if they win the remaining games?
Oh, for sure. Off the top, I would say USC, but I don't think their schedule is going to maintain them at just 2 losses. 'Cause they have to play Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think they're going to make it. But I would give them the best. I think out of that group of people, a group of teams, USC is definitely
mm-hmm.
better than Washington, Nebraska, U of M, and Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I just think their schedule is gonna hurt them with that Oregon game.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if they can beat Oregon. That loss to Notre Dame, it really
Is
it
that game
stung, and
at
that loss
Oregon
to
or is that USC
Illinois
when they
is really
play?
coming back to haunt them.
Mm.
It is at Oregon, so yeah, at Oregon, that's a tough deal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So who I think is the best team? Definitely USC. Who can sneak in for sure? Unfortunately, that team down the road probably has a good chance of sneaking in. They have 2 losses right now, but their rest of their schedule is pretty pretty easy
until they
up
get
until
to
they play Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
But but you can't even trust Ryan Day versus Michigan right now. So I don't know. Michigan could definitely
Hmm.
sneak in because they went out, they'd be 10-2, and
Oh
that would
yeah,
have
they would
featured
definitely put
that would
Michigan in if
feature
they
a rank
won.
of
If they went out, yeah,
they'll
they
definitely
would
be in
definitely
because
put them
that
in.
feature the a red versus number one team in America right now, ranking wise.
Yeah.
So I think you like I said, USC has they're the best team of that group, but probably Michigan has the best chance to win out. Let me check Nebraska's
Hmm.
schedule. I mean, Nebraska, I mean, let's be honest, they're not a good team. I think their schedule's been more favorable. But other than that, like no, not at all. Let me just check Nebraska's remaining schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
All
While
right,
you're checking out
Nebraska.
that group,
They have to play US. They're playing
my
USC this
thoughts are
weekend, so
Washington for some
that should probably be
reason.
it for them. UCLA, Penn State, and then
Yeah, my
Iowa.
thoughts are Washington. Yeah. Now, what they have to play at Iowa. Washington does.
You said what now?
You said that Washington has to play
Washington?
at Iowa in November.
No, I was saying that Nebraska plays Iowa to end the season, but
Oh,
it's a home
okay.
game for them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking
I see. Yes,
Washington because I know that, to your point, USC has to play at Oregon. I believe Michigan, yeah, Michigan hosts Ohio State. But I just don't see Ryan Day losing a fifth game in a row against Michigan.
he should have lost last year, but
I
he
I
did.
yeah, I just don't see that happening. If that happens, then Ryan Day, yeah, he should get the axe for sure because I think he would have made history on the wrong side by losing five in a row to Michigan. Ah, man, that'd be tough. And I know Ryan Day just won a national chip last year, but you're gonna lose a fifth game in a row. Now, granted, two of those
I
losses
mean,
were
it's very
thanks to
interesting. All
Connor
these teams
Stallions,
have like
but
at least one more ranked big opponent left in that peer group. I think Iowa has the worst chance looking at their schedule. Let's pull it
yeah,
up real quick.
I
Yeah,
just
because
don't see
Iowa
that
has to
happening.
play Oregon and USC. So Oregon, yeah, so they're probably not going to. I mean, yeah, to me, the best shot is U of M just based on the schedule.
Yeah, U of M is the prime example of how to beat up on bad teams to make your season look good because
I mean, it's not their fault. They
I'm
won the
like,
game.
yeah, no, it's not. It's not their fault. It's just, I mean, it just tells you, from the conference standpoint that there are a lot of middle of the road to bad teams in the conference. I mean, let's
Yeah,
just
but that's
say what
how the
it
Big Ten's
is.
always been. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, 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 it
they have a
has.
favorable schedule, and and to be clear, what's even more frustrated about Michigan State, and we can transition to our next topic on the Big Ten. Let me bitch about our team real quick. There was a pathway in this season if you was a solid football team to win 8, 9 games, but they can't be solid. Because going through the schedule, okay, got Nebraska, should have been a victory. UCLA should have been a victory if you had a real coaching staff and a real team. Even the Michigan game, you play just a regular solid football game, you probably beat them. Minnesota, the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Penn State, they have no offense. Their quarterback, Drew Aller, is hurt. He's done for the season. They fired their coach. That should have been a victory too for your solid football team. And then Iowa, okay, you at Iowa you lose to Iowa, okay, cool. Maryland, after September, Maryland's they turn into a pumpkin every year. So if we had a real coaching staff, this should be a nine, like a 9 win football team.
Yeah.
But it's just like no, it's just not happening. And so the next topic of the Big Ten, which Michigan State really falls into, which team can make out the toilet bowl next year? What team can be
Yes, the
better?
toilet bowl. Yes, the toilet
I
bowl. And
and
I
we
gotta say,
have
Brian,
the four worst teams.
before you start talking,
Okay,
Brian, I have to say that I think this makes Q the Woodshed unique because we're willing to talk about the bad teams in the Big Ten or just bad teams overall because all the other talking heads, they're gonna focus on the teams that are winning and looking good and all that stuff. Here at Q the Woodshed, we spread the wealth, baby. We talk about the good teams, we talk about the bad teams. So yeah, we talk about the teams that are shining in the conference, but we're willing to talk about the toilet bowl teams, including our alma mater. So there's no favoritism here. If you're a good team, we're going to talk about you. But if you're a bad team, we're going to talk about you too. You either in the toilet bowl category or you're up there shining with Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. So, yes, the toilet bowl category. Which team is going to get out the toilet bowl for 2026? And the nominees are Michigan State, Wisconsin, Purdue, also known as Purdon't, at least in college football right now, and Penn State. If we don't throw Rutgers in there too, we can. Those are the nominees for the category of which team can get themselves out of the toilet bowl for 2026.
looking at the easy choice is Penn State. I think they have out of all these teams that are down there, they're the most talented. I don't know what happened to them this year with their with their team. They fired their head coach James
Uh-huh.
Franklin. Quarterback's hurt. He cost them a few games in the past couple years. So Penn State, they still have a lot of talent over there on that team. They'll get some coaches to have to come in, and I'm sure they'll be solid. So I vote for Penn State to be the first team to get out. And other than that, I don't know because State,
I should
especially
have
if we
brought
fire a
some
head
dice
coach,
to roll them.
we're going to be, for State, they're still going to be down there next season. Or if our coach gets fired, you'll see a max exodus, and then you have a bunch of like 70 new transfers or something come in, and we have no clue what that's going to look like. Wisconsin, Fickle's been there since 2021, 2020, something like that. I don't know what he
Yeah,
has
he
in
started
Wisconsin
when
for them to
Mel
come
Tucker
out.
did, I think.
Yeah, or the next year. He came the next year because Mel Tucker
Oh,
gets
he did?
hired because they
Okay.
won the Fickle in 2020. He decides to stay at Cincinnati, and then he gets the Wisconsin job that next year. So I think it's 2021.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what he
Okay.
has on the AD over there. They came out of vote of confidence, or he's our guy, and the NIL people support him. Like, that's interesting choice for a coach that's been there for 4 years, and they've looked bad every year. These are all his guys. He's picked his own groceries at this point. But Wisconsin, I can't say I expect anything more out of them. Purdue, they've been basically bad my entire life in football, so I can't see them changing anything. So yeah, Penn State probably the best case for crawling their way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with you. Out of those teams, I would vote for Penn State to get themselves out of the toilet bowl category and getting it back to decency. The eight
Decency. I like
wins,
that.
8 to 10 wins. Because Penn State, they have a lot of resources. So it's not like they're just going to just bottom out and
No.
stay at. I can't see Penn State going from where they're at right now to like 6-6. I can see them going to next year at least 8 wins. Because again, to your point, you got 3 wins, and Penn State, they had it to this year. They had a pretty toilet bowl non-conference schedule. I mean, they just ran through their teams they played in the non-conference. Then, they had their hiccup in UCLA, which ultimately led to James Franklin's impending doom of getting fired and their downfall to the toilet bowl status this year. But I can see them, climbing out pretty quickly with the resources that they have compared to us and everyone else we mentioned in this category. What is interesting is a team like Purdue, for example, where for the most part, they've been in the toilet bowl for a very long time. But I think the most relevant season they had was when Jeff Brom was still the coach and he got them to the Big Ten conference or the championship. The Big
Championship
Ten
game, yeah.
championship game. And this was back in the old, West, when it's Big Ten East and West, when the West just kind of
Yep, that was 3 years
cannibalize each
ago, I
other.
think.
I think so.
Well, the Big Ten West was dog water.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear.
Yeah,
They were
those teams just
complete.
beat up on each other all the time.
I think Joe Rossi got hired and got his high opinion of a defensive coordinator because he beat up on a lot of Big Ten West bad offenses. That seems to be the case right now, at least. But yeah, Purdue was good about 3, 4 years ago, and then Brom left, and
Yeah.
now he's almost ruling the ACC. He has
Yeah,
Louisville
buddy.
looking pretty decent.
As for Michigan State, yeah, there's going to be some pretty down years before we can get back to where we're at in the glory days of Mark D'Antonio. So Tom Izzo going to have to keep our spirits up for a minute because I don't know.
We'll see what the basketball team looking like. They're new. They're new. A lot of new people and a
Yeah.
lot of new roles, and they have the expedition games that you could overreact. It's exhibition. You don't know what the team's gonna look like because that could be anything. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. And this what we trust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was a retrust for sure. Oh, side note, this story about Max Bulla being the head coach, there's nothing to report as far as him having interest in the position or anything like that. But there's some chatter out there about the administration should take a look at Max Bulla. Hey, I like Max. He was definitely a great linebacker for MSU, but I don't think he ain't ready for that. He as a head coach at Michigan State, I don't think he's ready for that yet.
I mean, I agree
Not
with
trying to
that. He
hate.
hasn't.
I'm not
He's
hating,
only been
but
he's been linebackers coach.
I don't
I
think
think for
he's not
two
there
seasons
yet.
now. He hasn't been a defensive coordinator yet. I would love to have him back at Michigan State for in some capacity. You know, but head coach, I maybe a little bit further down the line. Again, I would
Right.
love to have him back as some type of position coach, or I don't know. He let a good times when Max Buller was the middle linebacker from Michigan State. So that's, you know, hope we can bring some of that energy back one day. I don't know if that is right now. I saw that it was a
Right.
one of the people in '97 won the ticket. I think it was the midday show. He had the idea of you bring Saban back and you have Max be there and have them learn from Nick Saban. I'm like, okay, I one can dream, I guess, but yeah, no, I that's that's not for me.
No.
And as far as I don't even know where to begin with the head coaching thing for Michigan State right now. I have I'm let's finish this season first, or once the coach is gone, we can really deep dive into it. But right now, it's like okay, let's let's figure this out for right now. Let's figure this season out.
Yes, I second that. Definitely
The
second
only name
that.
I've seen so far that I would think would be the best thing. I already said it before, like James Franklin. I think that would be best for Michigan State in terms of Midwest footprint. Knowing the conference, hating Michigan, but we're not there yet. So we are
Mm-mm.
not there quite yet.
I've also seen on Instagram, allegedly, we're not reporters, but just saw some posts about James Franklin close to a deal with Virginia Tech, become their next head coach.
Yes, interesting. Uh,
So,
I don't know what to make of that one, but
right.
we'll see. I know there're going to be a lot of moving pieces in college football head coaching vacancies.
Oh, yeah, because there's definitely a lot of vacancies across the country. So some coaches will
You see the
have
thing
their
at LSU?
choosings. About Brian Kelly.
You see the No, well, Brian Kelly, well, I think it was I don't know if it was a senator, someone that came out and said, yeah, the AD, he not gonna be able to make the decision for the next head coach. I was thinking like, well, so if you're the athletic director
Oh
can't
yeah, I saw
choose
that. Yeah, I
the
saw
head
that
coach of the
trad.
football
Yeah.
team, then what did you say you do here? Like, what is his job then? I don't, because the guy came out and said he's made two bad coaching hires. He hired the guy at Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, had to pay him a big buyout, and now he hired Brian
Oh
Kelly and had to
yeah.
pay a big buyout for him. And so he was saying he shouldn't be allowed to make the next head coaching pick of LSU. Like, damn, okay, well, you might as well fire him, right? At that point, if he can't, if AD can't be the AD, but those are LSU
Yeah.
problems. And that 53 big was they got to pay out to Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I
They must already
also
have the
want to put
money
this on
in
record too.
place.
I do not want Brian Kelly to be the head coach at
Oh
Michigan State.
God,
I don't
no.
think anybody in
No.
the no, most fans like, oh, no, thank you, no, thank you. We'll move on. I'd rather
No.
roll the dice
Mm-mm.
on a up and comer from a G5 school than Brian Kelly. No, thank you.
I co-sign on that. No, mm-mm. No, sir. I agree with you on that one. So yeah. Mm-mm. No, we don't want that smoke. So, all right. As usual, it's that time. The fun football fact. Time to see if you can get the answer right. Multiple choices always. I think you're kind of on a roll. I can't remember if well, you didn't do the last week because last week we saved that one for the interview with the Michigan and MSU players. So, you got a week
I
off
haven't
from
given right
that.
in a while,
But
so I'm on a bad
right.
losing streak. I'm like Michigan State.
Ah, You like Michigan State. Well, let's see if you can get this one here, Broski. So, since we're playing Minnesota, I figured, this would be a question specifically about the Golden Gophers. So, how many times has Mark D'Antonio beaten Minnesota during his tenure at Michigan State? And then, yes, it is a multiple choice question here. So, again, I'll repeat the question for you and for our listeners. How many times has Mark D'Antonio beaten Minnesota during his tenure as head coach? Is it 5, 7, or 8 times? We need some Final
Uh,
Jeopardy music. I always say that.
if I had to guess, I'd go with 7.
7 times. Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the answer is 5. Mark D'Antonio is 5-1 against Minnesota during his tenure as Michigan State head coach, which I was kind of surprised about that because I thought he would have played Minnesota more often, when he was coaching, but especially because he coached
No, we
MSU
didn't get a
for
lot of,
12 years?
when they went to those divisions, I don't think Minnesota was ever really in our division. We didn't cross over a lot with them.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Only
sense.
I I remember I don't know if this was the last time we played Minnesota with Mark Antonio. Uh, they just pounded the rock on them for like 4 straight quarters. It was a raining game, and then it was like LJ Scott was the running back. I think that might have been that 10-2 year, 10-3 year they had. But yeah, I thought they would have played them more than just 6 times total. But it kind of makes sense.
Right, right. So, yep, that fun football fact was just in their honor of us playing the Golden Gophers once again. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, any final thoughts here as we wrap up our preview game versus those Golden Gophers, our Big Ten talk? Any final thoughts coming into the first weekend of November action of Big Ten football, MSU lack of football, and anything else?
I just hope Michigan State don't get their boat rowed. That's all I can really say.
Right. No sunken ship. We'll see. Oh, yeah. By the way, this is Halloween coming up. So happy Halloween to all those trick or treaters out there and people going to the haunted houses and all of that. If we would have had more time, Brian, I did have the thought of us, putting on like some kind of Halloween mask or face paint or something. But, we had a pretty, pretty busy week. So maybe next year we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that next year for our the listening audience.
You put a costume on
So,
to be a real football team.
uh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Cue the woodshed. Make sure you guys check us out on social media and hit that subscribe button when you listen to us on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Amazon Prime, Amazon Music, where we love to hear from you guys. What's funny is on TikTok we get a lot of good responses on TikTok to our posts. So we love that energy you guys bring. Keep on bringing it. So, having said that, I'm Ken, the super cool Spartan. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan. Cue the woodshed, and we're out.